So y'all been asking for it, guys, and we're out here in the outdoor kitchen today, and we're going to be cooking up some really light, crunchy, southern, good old hush puppies. So welcome to Whippoorwill Holler. I'm Miss Lori, and this is Mr. Brown. We live in the hills of Arkansas. We love the Lord. Keepers of the old way, but accept some of the new. We love to cook, and we love to eat. We love to garden. It's in our blood. It's how we stay sustainable and fill our pantry. We do a lot of canning and preserving. We live a sustainable life. We love our family. We work hard. And every once in a while, we like to dance. So y'all join us. So y'all get your pen and your paper out, and let's talk about our ingredients for these good old southern hush puppies. Let's talk about our dry ingredients first. I've got 2.5 cups of just plain yellow cornmeal right here. And this is what I use when I'm cooking and frying up fish. It's very fine ground, and it's really good for hush puppies and for fish. So I got 2.5 cups of the yellow cornmeal. I've got 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. I've got 2 teaspoons of sugar, but that's optional. You don't have to put sugar in there. I've got 4 teaspoons of baking powder, a teaspoon of baking soda, and a teaspoon of salt. We got 2 eggs. I've got 1.5 cups of buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk, you can use just plain milk. You may not need as much. Just you'll have to just watch it and put in a little bit at a time till you get to the right consistency, because regular milk's not as thick as buttermilk. Or you can do what I did, and I just took regular milk and I put me a good teaspoon of white vinegar in here about 15 minutes ago. So that's going to be my buttermilk. And then you need a small onion. And I had a purple onions, what I had. Well, I got several of them. So that's what I'm using. So I want to show you how I do my onions for my hush puppies. And all I had at the time right now are my purple, or what some people call red onions. I'd rather have a Texas sweet or something like that, but I don't. But this is how I do my onions for my hush puppies. And I grate it on a grater, and you see what it does, and you get a lot of that onion juice, and that's what's going to give these hush puppies such a good taste. And you can just chop them up, or however you want to do your onions. It doesn't matter. But this is the way that I like to do it. And when you've got little kids that are eating them hush puppies, that love the taste of it, but they don't like them crunchy onions in it, this is a good way to do it right here. Okay, let's whip up our hush puppy mix. Put them in my good old bowl here, and we're going to go ahead and we're just going to put all of our dry ingredients in here. And I'm just going to stir them around a little bit. Now, me and Mr. Brown won't be able to eat all these hush puppies that this makes. But what I'm going to do is I will separate them out, and I'll put them in the freezer. Hush puppies freeze really good, just like cornbread does. And anytime that we're having a little bit of fish that Mr. Brown's caught, or I love eating hush puppies with just a bowl of brown beans or white beans. So that'll be good just to pull out a small package of maybe 6 hush puppies for me and Mr. Brown to eat. Now, if I had a crowd here, yeah, they'd eat every one of these. My kids and grandkids love hush puppies. So we got our dry ingredients in there. I'm going to go ahead and put my 2 eggs. I'm going to go ahead and put my onions that I grated up. Got all that good juice, onion juice out of there. And I'm going to put 1 cup of my 1.5 cups of buttermilk or regular milk, whatever you've got. And we're just going to stir this up. And that's all there is to hush puppies. Now, you can add things to this mix. You can chop you up a jalapeno really fine and put it in here. You can put you some cooked bacon in it. You can even put a little bit of, and this would be a different thing to do, but if you've got some boiled shrimp, you can cut it up in pieces and put it in your hush puppy batter and fry it up. There's just several things you can put in this batter and it will fry right up. Now you see the consistency. You don't want this to be a runny batter. In fact, you will let it sit here for just a little while and you'll let it thicken up. So I can tell that I don't need the rest of my milk. Because if I do, it's just going to be too runny. So that's why I always tell you to, and day by day could be different too. So there's about 1/4 cup of milk left, really. So we got this stirred up good, I think. And I'm going to let it sit here for about 10 or 15 minutes. And we'll come back to it and then we'll fry up some hush puppies. So you want your grease, you want at least 2 inches. And usually, if I'm cooking a lot of fish for a lot of people or a lot of hush puppies, I'll use my deep Dutch oven, cast iron Dutch oven. But it's just me and Mr. Brown, so this is going to be a fine size right here. But you need at least 2 inches of grease or hot oil. And I'm using peanut oil. I use peanut oil when I fry fish, hush puppies, when I fry chicken. And I've got my heat. It was on about medium high. You don't want it too hot to where the outside gets really brown and the inside's not done yet. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I want to turn my oven on as low as I can, so when I get these hush puppies out, I can keep them warm. So I'm probably going to do about 170. That'll be fine, 175. That way I can keep them hot. And I've just got my little cookie scoop here. And we're going to start dropping them in the hot oil. Now this oil could have been a little bit hotter, I can tell. Because when you drop it in there, you want them to really just start frying. Otherwise, you're going to have a greasy hush puppy. So I could have let this one get a little bit hotter. Being out here in the outdoor kitchen, it's windy outside today. And it's coming right through this window, so it's kindly playing havoc on my cooking here. But we'll get it done. So you just don't really load it up too much. Just put your hush puppies in there like that. And we're going to let them fry up. It usually takes a couple minutes when they get brown on this side. And then I'm going to flip them over and cook them on the other side. The key is you want to make sure the middle gets done because you don't want a doty hush puppy. And I'm just going to start turning them over because they're starting to get golden brown on that side, and they're just so light and fluffy. They're not a really dense hush puppy. So we'll let this side cook for a couple minutes. Mr. Brown's out there on the tractor. We've been out in the garden all morning, working out there. And right now he's out on the tractor bush hogging some sage-grass down that he didn't get done yet. He likes to keep things nice and neat. There's my oven telling me it's warm for my hush puppies now. You just want to make sure sometimes they want to flip back over, so you just have to kind of hold them there for a minute. But you want to cook them a couple minutes on each side. And if you're not real sure, you can take one out and cut it open. A lot of times I have to do that to make sure they're done. I'm going to take this one out. See, I cut it in half and it's done in the middle pretty much. It's not doughy in the middle, which means raw in our neck of the woods. But I've got a little bit of, I think, I could be wrong, but I think it may be bass in there that Danny's caught a long while back, and it's been in the freezer, and we are fixing to cook it and eat it for our supper with these hush puppies. A little bit of baked beans and some coleslaw. It's going to be good. And I'll probably pull an onion from the garden, green onion, to eat with it. So we're going to take these out. They're good and brown on both sides. That one I checked in the middle is done. Now, after taking these out, I'm going to let this, before I put any more in there, I want this to heat back up a little bit. Like I said, if it's not hot enough, you'll have greasy hush puppies. So I'm just going to keep cooking these. And like I said, whatever I've got left over is going to go in the freezer. And we'll have hush puppies for a while. To warm them back up, all you have to do is either stick them in an air fryer, or like what I do is I just stick them in the oven on 350 for just a little bit to get them warmed up. So thank y'all for joining me out here again. It's been a whole year that I've been out here in the outdoor kitchen, and thank y'all for being here with me. So I hope y'all enjoyed the recipe for the good old homemade Southern Hush Puppies. And I want to tell y'all, because I forgot to tell you, you can put onion powder, you can put garlic powder, you can put Cajun seasoning in this. Just make it your own, like I always tell you. You can add any kind of spices to it, jalapeños or anything like that. Extra onions, just whatever you like and desire. So use this recipe though, because these are some really light, crunchy, good hush puppies. So thanks guys again for being with me. I hope y'all try this recipe, and I hope y'all really like it. So y'all come back and see us. We'll be back in a couple of days. We hope y'all are having a beautiful weekend, because we are really enjoying all this sunny weather. It is a little bit windy, but we can take the wind. That's okay. It's about in the 80s, and like I said, we've been out in the garden this morning. So you can tell I'm in a better mood because I can get out and get my hands in the dirt again. So we'll see you in a couple of days. God bless everybody. We love you. Make you some hush puppies.